Hello Capricorn, this is your timeless love variant reading. Please bear in mind a few things before we get started. These messages may resonate more if Capricorn is found in your sun, rising, and or Jupiter position. However, if you're here solely on the moon in Capricorn position quest, you may find that this reading may not be exactly what you're looking for. You may be seeking emotional redemption that this reading does not provide. So you may be interested in checking out my sister channel, Basteta Energy. The link can be found in the description box below, as well as some other things. So feel free to browse below. And yeah, past, present, and future energetical timelines, as always, always come through within a reading. So use your discernment to take care of what is yours and to leave the rest behind. And yeah, all that jazz. Capricorn, let's get started with your love variant reading. The love variant reading covers whatever the love variant reading wants to cover. This could be about being single, being partnered up, marriage, divorce, polyamory, I don't know. Okay, so let's dive right in there, Capricorn. The Fate, accepting help, guidance, the Pilgrim, opportunities, growth, and the Vengeance. Okay, so a lot of you have been seeking, you want assistance on something in regards to life. I feel that if you've been hurt in your life, you've automatically been on this quest for a very long time here. All right, if you came into this realm of existence with nothing but innocence in your heart of hearts and your mind of minds, then it becomes very difficult to overcome these slights and to make rational choices, because you understand that everyone is out to help each other. And when life comes in and gives you unexpected demise or downfalls rather than upheavals, not upheavals, but upcomings, then it's hard to understand when you need to take hands to your own fate and actually seek guidance and to accept help from others. It becomes very difficult to be in the quest of self and to accept the help of others, because pride is in the way of understanding what the vengeance is all about. So the choice in making a healthy choice gets also tarnished because you've never been able to learn, probably in a healthier note, how to make wiser choices, or how to make choices that won't affect you as much emotionally or physically, because you understand all the rational decisions or rational options or viewpoints that go into a decision-making process, right? So if something comes into life in your perspective as a child and robs you of that innocence, then you grow up maintaining that same ignorance, because there's something that was never really truly taught to you. But what was overcome with someone, the majority of you here, is the ability to accept new. And the new is part of the injured trauma mind, because maybe it can't continuously accepting new allows you to never pay attention to what it is that you actually have to deal with. So it's more of like running away from your problems, but substituting them with different words of modalities and methods. You'd rather buy happiness, you'd rather work on money, you'd rather work on more tangible things than emotional things, because the return rate is more satisfactory and less emotional of a problem, because more than less, the things that you're purchasing, the things that are materialistic, don't have eyes, nose, mouth, and ears to argue with you. All right. So the argument comes in, maybe having too much stuff, or not providing assistance for others because you actually have the ability to provide funds and you don't give it. So that I'm seeing some custody battle here. All right, financial problems here. Just very interesting niches of issues. Give me 1 second here. Why is the timer like this? All right, weird. All right, anyway, so Not something that you can see. I just see it on my end. I wonder where it's going to the upload. Whatever. We're gonna figure it out. So the growth part of this is to kind of like see yourself as the pilgrim. All right, the pilgrim who maybe gets like on a societal note bullied because he or she is a pilgrim. I mean, you're all up on there and you're on your own kind of thing. And you might be a little bit of the outcast, and you feel like you have to dust off yourself, and you don't have all the, I don't know, there's a poor attitude coming through here. All right, but like I said, it's poor attitude, not poor money. It's not about money. Money, it's I mean, you Capricorns are pretty damn good with your money if you allow yourself to be. All right, you are really good at being hustlers, of making lies out of money transactions that people just are gullible by, and they soak up, and they want to take risks with financial matters when it comes to, you know, talking with you. If you're a gambler, then yeah, whatever. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of hustle vibe coming through here that is like, all right, if I ever entertain it, great, I entertain it, but it's also very karmic, all right? There's a lot of karmic hurdles coming through over and over and over, but then there's a much bigger, a huge narrative around this karmic energy that it doesn't want to be karmic anymore. It wants to be divine, and so it's asking you, well, who has helped you lately, Capricorn? I feel like there's someone been in your life where you accepted a version of guidance, and this individual is very fucking different from anything else you've ever imagined, and yet you still put yourself off like, I feel kind of jealous. There's some jealousy coming from you, Capricorn, wherever this other person exists. It's like, it's a little, I don't know, it's annoying. It's just annoying. It's an annoying feeling coming through, because you really need the help at this time, but you won't allow yourself to get this help. Like, it's ignorant. It's ignorant, and you want the narrative to be like, oh, I'm just doing it to protect myself and the person, and no, ultimately, it's a piece of shit narrative that you got going on. It's an exclusive behavior of fearing something that's different from you. I'm seeing that you are ultimately still suffering with ego that is making you believe that to have longevity in life is to have actual materialistic people or things in your life. Like, the more you see a physical person in your life, in a physical life, the more you will believe it. But in the absence of that person, you won't, which is a mockery to understanding what healing power is. Because if you go into the methodologies of what I know and what I am a master of, time and space is absolutely not even worth discussing, because you can be anywhere in any trajectory of this earth vibration and get healing energies. The only place where it may not happen is in the depthness of the ocean or in the darkness of a cave, because time spent too far in those dimensions of atmospheric pressure will subdue a mind and will suppress, rather than if you go into the mountains and you exercise your lungs to keep up with the atmosphere of air. That's actually a different form of element that you can gain conscious awareness of and seek healing and speak to what a lot of yogi books and yogis have shared. They've reached to and spoken to God. But there is an individual that has come across in somebody's path that has ability to guide you, Capricorn. You know this, but the narrative that you want to maintain, that you have it all figured out, but you don't, but you know, and it's like, I don't know, I don't even fucking want to entertain this and so detailed orientated, because it's annoying. You're talking out of your ass, there's diarrhea at the mouth, and you're a hypocrite to what it is that you want. That's what the energy is saying that's wrong with you. Is that ultimately what's wrong with you? No, because you are someone, who is this? You have your control of your own life, your own wisdom, your own integrity, your own power. You fought for yourself. You needed no one to get to where you are. You hate living, but you hate death. You understand life because you understand the ceremony to be appreciative of breathing. And yet, what is the fucking problem? The ego. I don't know what it is. I'm deeply pissed in this reading a bit. I'm sorry. I should have maybe apologized in the beginning of how rude these energies could come and dice you, but it's literally like this needle here coming in and trying to prick you. And knowing that a finger poke, ironically, has a lot of pain to offer than a deep slash of the idiocracy or the idiotic behavior that you're doing at this time, Capricorn. You have the blessing and the tarot energy to utilize the power of your ego, because your ego is the most divine part about yourself. But you don't know that. The ego is the most divine part about who it is that you are. Because, I mean, do you know anything about tarot? And if you don't know anything about tarot, that's fine. But if you don't know anything about tarot and you still approach any of these readings with some sort of ego-minded taboo that some tarot shit is wrong, or you're sniffing at something that you don't really believe in, you're going to be called out for it over and over and over again. And you will think that your little interest will keep you away because you just want to know just enough to keep like staying. It's fucked up. It's a manipulative power this energy is doing. Okay, Capricorns, you're doing too much with this manipulative energy. I don't know why she's going on a rampage here of going out of her way to make sure you understand how you're doing the cutting. You're doing the cutting, but you're thinking that you're a good person. But this good person that you are isn't defined by the fact that you cut people. You need to stop cutting people and heal the things that are cut within you. Ugh, gross. Anyway. But, like I said, ego is the most divine part about who it is that you are as a Capricorn energy. Alright, sun rising energy, but I don't give a shit where it is at this point. Alright, and even if you're here in a moon place and being in the Capricorn being in a moon placement of your sign, I mean, you've seen too much to understand that what to do to other people is not right. It's not right. All right, you're loved by individuals outside of humanity that see you past your ego. So your ego is the most definitive part of who it is that you are, about trying to understand your own divinity, because the devil energy in tarot is about the ego that doesn't understand if it's light or darkness. It's the same with you. But your divine energy is your ego, but you need to understand which parts of your ego is entertained by the light or is entertained by the darkness, and to control that shit, because that trickles into ultimately the relationships you'd like to have. But that's a little niche where you may have been hurt a long time ago, not seeing that you're ultimately hurting those individuals who love you, but you're pushing them away and thinking that you're doing them a favor, pushing them away, when it's actually not true. You're doing more harm in pushing them away, because those people are actually asking you to have crossed your paths and asked to stay with you. But something about your character and your healing pursuits pushed them away again. So you weren't ready for them, not they weren't ready for you. Their ego was willing to be entertained by your ego, Capricorn. But your ego of not seeing your own ego power, of how your ego is loved, pushed that individual away. Which the only thing it means is that you're incapable of admitting your faults and admitting your strengths. I don't know what it is, besides anything having to do with your emotional development and ego. Emotional development and ego. The fucking hangman comes up. Shit. Alright, so Ultimately, what is the cost to all this upheaval, all this understanding, all this growth? Is that you have a mission, and this mission is understood with how you receive the own calling to act in however manner you want to act, and how you want to give yourself, how can I say this? Be yourself, but also be vulnerable in the presence of other people. Like some of you want to surrender in relationships. You want to be taken care of. You want to, ultimately, you don't want to manipulate in order to get what it is that you want. But all of you, majority of this crowd here understands what manipulation is, because you've either been a victim of it since young, and that's all you understand, or you've learned the power of it enough to utilize it to your own advantage. Either way, both of those points can accrue a different perspective that brings you into mastering why you, of all individuals on this earth vibration, had to go through the experience that you went through. Knowing that every niche and corner you go to for healing, there are other people who will say, yeah, I feel that too. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. As within, so without, as above, so below, I understand what you're saying. And yet Capricorn continuously pushes the fucking the needle of, well, you probably think I'm not good enough. Excuse me? Don't shit into the mouths that provide you the security to be who you are, Capricorn. Be very careful in doing those things, all right? It goes very personal. It's said very personal. You don't see the face. You don't get triggered by anything besides hearing the message. And wherever this may ricochet in being the truth, take it for the face value of the honesty it wants to provide. Maybe it wants to hurt a little bit before you understand the message, and allow it to. Because that message that you then go back into thinking, oh, what can I do to be better, is just don't be a shitty person. All right? The shitty person is being in ways that you regret being a certain way. If you feel like you don't have to be that way, don't be that way. Give certain people, I know there's at least one person in your fucking life right now that would love to just explore who you are as you are, and not the mockery of bullshit that you have to pretend you need to be in order to appease other people. I mean, come on. Leave that entertainment for the source of entertainment that you get through your television, through your phone, or any kind of stupid play on what it means to be a social media influencer with each other these days. All right? Be humble. Ugh, fuck. You thought this was bad? I mean, the Seven of Swords just, oh my fucking lord. For those of you who are new to my channel, in a way I do, on a personal note here, as to the human part, I deeply apologize for having been pretty harsh, let's put it that way. Alright, these are deep cutting energies. As deep and cutting as these energies are, then the Seven of Swords comes up and I just become even more, maybe more explicit. Alright, it's fucked up when the Seven of Swords comes in, because he or she is asking me to be precise with my words and know exactly what the fuck it is that I'm talking about to make myself fucking clear. There is deceptive energy around you, Capricorn, and it starts with yourself. Before you start figuring out who the deceptive energy is around, blah, 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 blah. It starts because there's a lick within you. A lick within you, all right? I'm not asking for what you did 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago. I'm talking about the deception right here, right now in this space, okay? Whatever that deception is, he or she is the reason why you are divine in your ego. Understand that. There is a twist to the Seven of Swords energy. A twist. The twist of the Seven of Swords energy is that if there is a negative person around you in your life, in your ether of existence, in your mind, that wants to take a slithering of your energy, understand that you can slither away just as fast from his energy trying to slither into your life, but it will not let you until you understand the beauty and fascinating power of what it means for you to be you. That's all I'll say to that. That's all that I will say to that. Three of Pentacles. All right, climbing that mountain to get your lungs adjusted to the high altitudes of what could be, and all that there is important. It's important for teamwork. It's important for... It's important for teamwork. It's important for collaboration. It's important for commitment. It's important for loyalty. It's important for sacrifice. It's important for surviving. It's important to understand why people come together at the end of the day. People are still always around you. That's why I know I can talk the way I'm talking to you, Capricorn, in this energy vortex, because there are people all around you. You make sure in more ways than one that you are entertained by people. Okay? Somewhere in the vicinity of your life that is true. Even if surrounding yourself with those people, you're not at your highest elevation of self, you are still surrounding yourself with people. So you are still able to provide some sort of entertainment and love and interest on a positive note for them to be returning members into your social life. So what's wrong? Self-negative talk. Self-negative talk has to be taught within you to learn how to manipulate them, especially when you are thinking in English. If you've been taught how to live a life and English is your first language, you even have it more of a struggle trying to understand your high vibrational galactic life of self and to put romance of feminine and masculine beauty towards the English language so that you don't anchor yourself and cut yourself off from life's richness, because the vibrational tonality of English is pretty much dead. You have to give it life in order for it to become something. So it would be very imperative to understand the definition of positive mental attitude and to understand the work required to pay attention to how to catch when you possibly do not have a quote-unquote positive mental attitude. Because the more you understand, it's not positivity that you're after. It's about understanding the word, the tonality, the vibration, making them make sense, and having them be on a sustainable frequency that will offer itself something for you, not to harm you, but to help you. That rhythm has to be made self-aware within a person. If the person cannot reach it within themselves, we are then here as a community needing to give each other this piece of something. It's not your fucking culty community either. It's no good for anyone. All right, Mother of Cups, Nine of Wands, Six. Excuse me. Six of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. I saw that tower just now. Emotional vulnerability is very difficult for you to admit for yourself, Capricorn, but that's because your ego is very divine, all right? Your ego is fucking divine. I don't know how to explain it to you, but you understand ultimately what it is that I mean because you're feeling the energy of Mother. Despite however tonality is being used, you feel right now the energy of Mother. Imagine that. Imagine a tonality that's being used in this reading and understand that I see that you are feeling the love of Mother. It's because in the darkness, you are thinking that vengeance brings you the life of breath that you need in order to be alive. And it's true to some degree because some of y'all have exquisite stories as to how life was not fucking beautiful in order to make it as beautiful as it may be now for you. You have lost people. People have injured you. People have maybe been murdered. There has been dark stories coming from Capricorn energy that is to be respected because it makes you who you are, where your ego is divine, and you can't even see the worthiness of that. It's sad. It is sad. But we're not talking about the sadness that is within you. And we're not talking about the sadness that you cannot see. It is sad that life's trajectory keeps bringing this up and you thinking that there is something ultimately wrong with you. Because that's exactly what it is. The reason why I have to be so harsh is because in a harsh tone, you may accept the blasphemous behavior of what your perspective ought to be. So that when your attention has been caught, then finally we can then tell you, all right, never allow someone to talk to you like that again. But now that we have your attention, Capricorn, do you understand what your power is and your power of influence is? That you are capable of saying words to people's niches of their minds and fundamentally can break them within themselves and not even know that you did that. There are things that you have said, Capricorn, to people that was just harsh on the delivery. And that harshness, people still saw as you not meaning to hurt them. However, those same individual I'm speaking of, you love in pure absence. And that's where something is wrong. There are people who are in your immediate social circle right now that you claim to love, but you don't love so deeply. When you love deeply to the people that are absent in your life right now, but you can't even be devoted to have a conversation with them. What is that? Sometimes it gets really difficult to read energies, not because the energy is difficult to read, but because as you approach as a reader, maybe I should keep it by myself. As I understand what these signs could potentially mean as Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Leo, Sag, like all these zodiac signs, right? What happens as a reader is that you impersonalize certain experiences with the energies that you're feeling by coming across certain dialogues that you remember other people to be of that same energy. Like if I remember a Capricorn, if I remember Aquarius, if I remember a Leo in my life, and see these similarities to picking up this reading, this cards, this energy, this time and space, and deciding for this energy I'm going to read. And it's very interesting to know that there are people who could, in my personal life, private life of my past, come across these readings and maybe think about whether or not I put any personal interests of having these energies read, or put these the similarities within these readings just because they may understand me on a personal note, right? As I'm talking, it's funny that these energies come up because the Ace of Cups is about like understanding the ace in the making and being the one to always rejuvenate, always trying to replenish, always trying to get up and get the hustle going and wanting to rekindle something. And once we understood that energy, the Six of Cups comes in and talks about the rekindling, reconciliation. Some of y'all want to I don't have the word anymore. You want to amend your past by having it be repeated again. And it just blows my mind that a lot of human connections are based on the fact that if I say no, I will wait for the time where you want to come back. And it's so interesting because I was on a same precipice. Like I did do that. I did put people on hold, and if I thought that, time were to bring us back again, they would bring us back, and sometimes they did. And when they did, I felt like I never changed, because I know myself enough that I can't change very quickly. But what I can control is the time and space to how fast I react to certain things. So when we understand these methods about ourselves, we come into a vulnerability context where we're like, all right, I know I can cause harm and injury to myself and others, but I don't want to. And I don't want to lose out to these connections, but I don't know how to maintain my truths in this connection without feeling like my feelings are continuously hurt because I can't speak my truth. And that's the irony with some of the certain connections that you're having right now at this time. There are multiple connections that you have in this life at this current time that keeps you on a steady pace. You go to work, you dialogue, there's people you text, there's people you FaceTime. There is a life that you're living. But yet if somebody comes in your niche that is very powerful, you will tell that person, I'm not really that happy. I don't have friends. But then everyone else will be like, what do you mean? I talk to you every day. How are we not friends? Like, that's the falseness that I'm like, Capricorn, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, if you've seen the love variant recent reading for the Virgo energy, I mean, where the title is Death is Living, that doesn't have a lot of views. But if you happen to be the one that's seen it, these energies are intense right now. This isn't about making sense of the fairy tale. It's that the fairy tale is right around the corner because the veil is fucking thin. And if you clean up your mess, clean up your gunk, it's right there to be seen. But those of us who've seen the reality of how beautiful it is on this side of the world can't make you see it unless we keep telling you something you don't want to hear. Until you're like, oh, heard. Ugh. Oh, mother. It's the moon. All right. The problem with human connection is that no one really knows how to be very honest. They think that truths are truths and truth is false and true and has some validity. It can be fact checked. That's what makes truths. Truth means that you can fact check the shit out of it. Honesty comes and fucks everything up. Because, I mean, it's honesty. Truth has no business in honesty. Honesty is a much bigger transaction. And that honesty will make you understand there is this thing called sovereignty that has a different fucking vibration to it. And you understand it to be English as well. But the tonality and the distinction of words is going to be a little bit more different than the English you speak over there. And it's the same fucking English. But the difference is freedom is found in one and you think it's free. The other one is sovereign. And no matter how rich or poor you think the bank account is to the person who claims themselves to be sovereign, their life expectancy of eternity is immortal. And they don't have to prove anything to you because they're too busy being immortal. So you being in their path, you crossing a path with somebody who is immortal, who has something negative because you think it's negative in the perspective of that you are hearing it in your sensation of triggering, doesn't affect the person that's too busy being immortal. Because I guarantee you, if you were to come around and talk to that person again who is in this narrative immortal, this person will give you all the blessings that they have to give their light of immortality to you. Which means you think that this person is negative because every time you cross paths to this person, things don't go your way, is not really true. It's just you need to hear that shit at that certain point of time. And you don't like it. And that's the truth that's hard for you to swallow, which is the overall honesty. Someone wants to get a butterfly tattoo or some tattoo on their lower back, or like having something removed in their lower back, maybe even butt area. A cover up maybe as well. Someone's hiding, wants to correct their wrongs. But you can't really hide. So just make peace to the fact that you can't hide. And then things will be better. The end starts a new beginning. Look at that. The end starts a new beginning. Regrets are for the weak. Self-medicated. The tunnel isn't real. All right, Capricorn, this is all that I have for you at this time in regards to the love variant reading. This was very intense. If you made it to this far, I appreciate you more than ways that you could ever even really imagine. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in this ether of time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.